Okay, well, I'm not too sure where we left off, but I know I did the foam, I think, for the roof in another video. But just in case, brief catch up. 1.5 inch foam. I went with this type of foam. It's a little bit softer, easier to cut, easier to install. The dense foam, harder to cut, harder to install. I had to be less accurate with this stuff for sure. It did lose a little bit of R value. But I don't care. It's just the ease of it made it worth it. So you can see I drew out all the circuits. I'm gonna run bathroom lights, some kitchen lights straight down the center, and then in the back for bedroom lights will all be on separate circuits. Cut it out, cut the wiring out with the router there, and anywhere where it was closer I couldn't get with the router, I just heated up putty knife and just kind of melted the foam. Anywhere I went through the framing, I put a little rubber grommet. Just made it real easy to, like that, made it real easy to run wires. In the bathroom, there was no real good way to mount the shower, like the shower head. So I made this little bracket that I was able to pop rivet onto the roof framing, and then that way that bracket would hold the shower head fitting. Quick, easy little tigged up box. Shop is a mess as per usual, and I'm welding in Crocs as per usual. Yeah, this thing only took me, 15 minutes to make. And then yeah, it just sits in there like that. So we went to Home Depot. I tried figuring out the cheapest way to board the roof. I did Marketplace, trying to find flooring I could throw up. Couldn't find any that I liked really, and then I ended up settling with this. It's number 2 grade pine, like just your regular framing, like the stuff you frame your house with, 2x6s, and ran it through the table saw both ways. Almost got through. Had to use the reciprocating saw for the rest of it. But the cost savings on this was about $700 ish. It was like, $150 for the wood. And then if I did this already pre-made out of cedar, it would have been like $800-900. So definitely a cost savings. Ran it through the planer. Unfortunately, I wanted about a 1/2 inch thickness. Running it through the planer, and only got it so far. I wasn't able to get a lot of the saw marks out of it, and some of the knots and stuff where there's just small imperfections, which is fine by me. And we just went with the old farmhouse look and kind of left it rustic like that. I don't have a planer, like a proper router table, as you can see, so definitely jimmy rig something up. Probably not the best idea to be routering on a carpeted table. As you can see, the bit kind of dives. It's definitely pressure sensitive, but again, it kind of goes with that rustic, imperfect look that I'm kind of going with now. Forced to go with, as you might want to say. But yeah, I did all of them, and then quick sand, and this is a whitewash that I was talking about. Basically, I just diluted white paint until I liked how much it saturated the wood. There was a couple test pieces that we went through and decided that whatever ratio this, I think it was like 1-3, one paint, 3 water, something like that. This was the look. It looks pretty heavy on video, but trust me, when the wood soaks all the white up, you do see a lot of wood come through. Like in the back, you can kind of see it. It looks a little bit better. Yeah, diluting that paint really helps out too, because it helps out with application. It was really easy to spread the paint. It goes a long way when you dilute it like that, and made quick work of all these boards. I know at some point I wanted to seal the whole board up just in case something like condensation or like a leak before I catch it. I didn't want this roof to be ruined, so I just went through some like scrap paints that I had and found this waterproofing. I think it's for decks. But it was perfect. It was free and I didn't need it, so it went on as a quick waterproof. So this is the last coat. Quick sand again before the last coat. It's a clear coat, it's a semi-gloss, water-based, just clear finish. It gave it a little bit of a shine. Definitely made it look really nice, really finished when it's done. Like if you look really close or if you touch it, it feels nice and smooth and has that little bit of a sheen to it. Getting to the bottom of the can, I was actually worried. I wasn't sure I was going to have enough to finish, but luckily I was. And if I didn't, I probably don't now.
Right, all finished.
Yeah, not good, not ideal to knock the paint can over. So a couple quick clips there you saw, but I just had some free scrap foam and I just use them as stands for either side of the board as I go to put these boards up. Quick peek on how the lights are installed. I did a few already, I guess you can see, and we'll just go through the process. Basically, I put the board up, lock it in to the tongue and groove as best as I can. Use these pieces of foam as little helper, little stands, and then I'm able to take a scrap piece of that, the roof panels, take a scrap piece of the tongue and groove, whatever side blocks in, and just whack it with a hammer, get it closed up. It was starting to grow on one side. It was starting to grow on the passenger side, so I had to unfortunately grow the driver's side so that my last board would be relatively like parallel in the cut. Like I wasn't going to be like have 1 inch on one side and 3 inches on the other. I wanted it to like look good at the end, so I had to grow the passenger side the driver's side just a little bit, like, you know, like I don't know, 30 seconds per board just to get it caught back up. The screws we put in are just temporary. I don't know, I kind of want to do rivets. I think it's going to be a bit of a challenge to do rivets. I might do screws, but those screws I put in are temporary. They're just regular steel self-drilling panhead number 10s, like 1 inch long or something like that. And they definitely have to be replaced because of the electrolysis that could happen. Definitely don't want this roof falling down, so maybe some aluminum rivets would be the best. We'll see. This is just layout. A lot of the lights where they cover 2 boards, I just put the boards together, laid it out on the ground, drilled it, and then put it up in 2 separate pieces, or maybe 1 full piece if it was easy enough to do. Little tech tip on the hole saws: when the wood gets stuck, just take the arbor apart and punch the puck out and put the arbor back together with the hole saw. Makes easy, quick work, and you're not sitting there trying to pry the puck out. Yeah, so there's the technique. You basically lock it in, tap it in with the wood, get it all set where you want it. I did every single board. I did all the layout too. That little square I'm using had marks on it. Every board was laid out the exact same, so that everything aesthetically everything looked perfect. All the screws in a straight line, sort of deal. There's locking in that second board. It may have been better to lock them together, or keep them together first and then put them in separate, or no, put them in together. But I think there's a future clip of me doing that, and I did do that once. It was fairly difficult, but yeah, we'll see. There's just doing all that layout, making sure everything's good. Pre-drill through the wood with 3/16 That way that screw didn't catch the wood and I was able to lock the wood up to the ceiling properly. Pull the lights out. So the lights themselves have little springs on them, and the springs were catching on the hole saw in the hole in the foam. So I just took this little drywall knife, I put a little 90-degree bend on it, heated it up with a torch, and just kind of melted out the areas where the springs were gonna like clip down and fasten to the boards, just to help it out a little bit, make it easier, make it better. One at a time, little pocket light. There we go. I've been drilling all the holes with a 2.5, but really I needed a 2 1/4. Luckily I found one. I didn't even realize I had it. But so the front ones I might have just put a little bit of silicone to hold them in the spot. You don't see any daylight coming through at all when they're like perfectly centered, but if it shifts or whatever, then you can see a little bit because it is a fiberglass roof and it's like you can see like just the light coming through. But anyways, 1 1/4 will go on the hole saw. It'll be nice and tight. All the rest of the lights will be set in and I won't have to worry about caulking them in and keeping them perfectly centered. So we got a bit of a time lapse here, just board by board, one after another till we're done. I'll let you guys watch that in peace. All right, and I'm not going to bore you with all the wiring of the lights, but there they are. Obviously, if you made it this far, you guys like watching, so give me a like and a follow, and we'll catch you on the next one.